He was born to be a rambler. He was born to ride alone. Ever lonely is the hunter, and forever on the road. There are times when he gets weary, when he'd like to settle down. Ever lonely is the hunter as he rides from town to town. There are men who fear and hate him. There's a price upon his head. No one man can ever take him, but they'd like to see him dead. No two eyes can ever hold him, 'cause he feels he must be free. No one brand can ever claim him. Lonely is his destiny.
That's gold, boy. Real jewelry ore.
Hands up, old timer. We want that gold.
Hurry up, you old fool. Them shots come from Ben's diggings. Have it your way. Ben! Ben! You won't have to shoot again. I'm done for anyway. Ben, are you all right? He got away, Ben. Do you know who he was? What are you trying to tell me? One of these names? Is his name on there?
Yes, sir. What can we do for you?
Feed and rest for my horse.
I guess we can take care of that. Junior, take the man's horse.
Where's your best hotel?
Why don't you try the Shorthorn Hotel?
Junior, will bring my gear over to the hotel?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Town seems kind of excited.
Sure is. Silver Ward Hogan's supposed to ride in today.
Silver Ward Hogan?
Are you pulling my leg, mister? Everybody who knows who Wyatt Earp and Pat Garrett are knows who Silver Ward Hogan is. He's the most famous detective in the West.
Must be quite a man.
You know, they tell me that when he rides into a town, he's all decked out in silver. You can spot him a mile away. Imagine him coming here.
With a rig like that, he'd be a good target for every gunman in the territory.
No, he don't care. He ain't afraid of nobody.
Nobody?
Hey, there he is!
Well, I'll be doggone. He must have sneaked into town.
Hey, Silver, did you really bring in the Hendricks gang all by yourself?
Yep, but only because there was no one else to help.
I hear you beat the Waco kid to the draw.
Just barely.
Are them really silver bullets that you use?
Hello, Davey.
Ward, it's good to see you.
A long time. Hey.
Let's go in the office. You make quite an entrance, don't you?
Find that a trademark is good for business. Because of it, everyone knows Silver Ward Hogan.
I've heard you get the job done. As far as I'm concerned, that's all that counts because I have some work for you. If you're as good as they say, it pays $50,000.
$50,000? What do I have to do?
A friend of mine, an old prospector named Ben Merriweather, was bushwhacked last month. Before he died, he wrote a last will and testament. It's legal.
June 3rd, 1880, Damien Bard, Millard County. I'm cashing in. There were 3 of them against me. 1 got away. Please sell my claim and divide it between David Kingman, Clint Gunston, Henry Devers, John Briggs, and whoever brings in the one who got away, signed Ben Merriweather. P.S. also include Judas. Judas who?
That's one of the ways you're going to earn your money. Apparently old Ben died before he could write the last name.
How much did the old man leave?
We sold his claim to the Monarch Mining Company for over $300,000.
Well, exactly where do I fit in?
First, I want you to find the heirs. The old man spent his life in this territory, between the pine country here and the Mexican country south.
Any idea who the bushwhacker was? The one that got away?
No, but speaking of that, I think it's only fair to tell you that you can't keep news like that reward a secret. It's been printed in the paper, so you'll have rivals.
Who were the 2 the old man killed?
They were brothers, Roy and Peter Ryerson. They had a 3rd brother, Jess. He's still alive.
He may be the man, but the old prospector who brought in the body and the will was sure Ben was trying to tell him it was one of the beneficiaries. But that's for you to figure out. You're the detective.
Oh, and this is very important. You're not to let the heirs know about the will. I don't want any fraud. Check them out. Establish they knew old Ben. As far as anyone's concerned, you're investigating Ben's death.
All right, suppose I find your heirs, but I don't find the killer.
Then you just get paid for your time. After you've verified each of these people, and I've sent the check, stay around long enough to find out that the right people received it. $50,000 is a lot of money.
It sure is.
Here's a list of the heirs and a picture of old Merriweather. Anything else you'll need?
Oh, some supplies, pack animal.
Get what you want down at the store and charge it to me. I've got old man Merriweather's mule at the livery stable. Use him.
All right, I will. I'll leave early in the morning, before sunup.
Why so early?
Well, I'd like to be 1 step ahead of my competition. Thanks, Damien.
Good luck, Ward.
I figured you'd show yourself if I did. All right, you've been following me for 2 days. Tell me why.
I wasn't going to shoot you.
I know that. You'd have tried it before now. Tell me why. Why?
You're breaking my arm.
Why?
I'm after the same thing you are. Ben Merriweather's killer.
Oh, bounty hunter, huh?
Call it what you like. I'm just trying to make myself $50,000.
Don't believe you told me your name.
I don't believe I had time. B-double-E is the name. Johnny B.
Johnny B, if you want a cup of my coffee, start picking up the firewood for a fire. Know this country?
Been through it.
How far to John Briggs' store?
Another 3 hours. But I don't think Briggs is the man.
You better start following a different trail.
Well, there's always a chance Jess Ryerson might be there. Ryerson interests me.
Why tell your competition?
I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. Say we both take him. $25,000 apiece, a fair split.
I wouldn't start spending your share if I were you.
Have it your way, Hogan. But if I'm not working with you, I'll have to be working against you.
Coffee pot's in the back. You the stable boy?
Yeah.
Will you take care of our horses?
Yeah.
They're thirsty.
I'll water them for you. You gonna stay the night?
I imagine. Anybody else staying here now?
Ain't nobody here except old man Peterson. He's too sick to ride on.
There you go. I'll be in the store. Hey.
Wow, Merry Christmas, boys.
Hi, I'm looking for John Briggs.
What were you saying?
I said I'm looking for John Briggs.
You're looking at him.
My name's Ward Hogan. I'm a detective. I'd like to talk to you. Alone.
Well, that ain't hard to fix, Mr. Hogan. I'll take you back to my office. Yes, Sonny. Make yourself to home.
Thanks.
Sit down. Now, what can I do for you, Mr. Detective?
Some information?
That's a funny thing. A lot of people come to me for information. It's hard for a man to cross this part of the country without stopping off here. I guess I see most of them sooner or later.
Good. You know anyone by the name of Judas?
Judas? No, but I can tell you one thing. I wouldn't trust him. Well, what's his last name?
Well, that I don't know. But I figure for the first name, he might be using Jude or Judd.
Judd. Well, I've known a lot of Judds. In fact, there's a Judd Greenway lives over on he passed away last spring. But his brother Bart, he's still alive.
You know Jess Ryerson?
Sure. The Ryerson boys stopped by here to get liquored up.
Where's Jess now?
Oh, I can't rightly say. None of them been around here for, more than a year now. As mean as they are, I figured somebody had killed them off by now.
Well, you figured right. 2 of them are dead. Jess is still alive.
I'm afraid I can't help you there.
How well did you know Ben Merriweather?
Ben who?
Merriweather.
I don't know that name at all. And it ain't one a man's likely to forget.
Prospector.
Now, we get a lot of prospectors in here. As a rule, they're generally a quiet bunch. Some of them don't even offer their name.
Here's his picture.
I'm afraid I don't know that face at all.
It was bushwhacked.
That's so? I reckon I didn't hear about it.
It was in all the papers.
Well, to tell you the truth, Mr. Detective, I sell them papers, but I can't read a word on them.
Merriweather had a notebook. The name John Briggs was written in it.
Well, that's my name, but It must be some other John Briggs. Ain't a common name, but you run into it every once in a while. Matter of fact, I know a preacher called that once.
Well, thanks for your help, Mr. Briggs.
Oh, that's anytime, anytime. Merry Christmas!
There's the empty cabin behind the barn. Better take your own roll. We don't furnish no bedding.
Where's the fellow that rode in with me?
Rode on. Said he had a change of mind.
Hands up, mister, and turn around. Hold it. Don't get the idea you're facing a frightened woman with a gun that's too big for. I know how to use this thing, mister. Where'd you come from?
Ma'am, when you point that thing at me, you make me plumb nervous. You ain't gonna have no need for it because, well, as you can see, I haven't got mine.
Where'd you come from?
Through the back gate, says Kingman Ranch.
Did you see the other side? Warning trespassers away?
Yes, ma'am. You kind of caught me at a bad moment. If you'll just go over behind that bush for a minute, maybe I can fix myself up so I can talk business to a lady in a proper way.
Well, all right. But hurry.
Would your name be Dorothea Grant?
No, I'm Mrs. Mary Kingman.
I used to know a little girl named Dorothea Grant. Knew her in school in the 4th grade. She moved away and I never saw her again. You look like she would have looked when she grew up.
Well, my maiden name was Mary Johnston.
You know, I really fell in love with that little girl. Although I was only 10 at the time. She's the only woman I ever fell in love with in my whole life.
Just what do you want here, mister?
I'm looking for David Kingman.
Who are you?
I'm a detective. My name is Silver Ward Hogan.
What do you want with Davy?
I'm investigating a murder.
A murder?
That's right, ma'am.
Mary, you all right?
Yes.
What's all the shooting?
It was me.
Where are you?
Down by the pond.
David Kingman, your husband?
No, my son.
Oh, he's the...
My husband was killed by a trespasser 2 years ago.
Say, ain't you Silver Ward Hogan?
That's right, sir.
Well, I'll be. I'm Job Kingman. This here's my grandson, Davy. Seems you've met Mary.
I've got your picture tacked up in my room, but I never thought I'd meet you for real.
I told you I'd bet you that was Billy, the kid we seen in town the other day. That who you're trailing, Mr. Hogan?
No, sir, I'm looking for someone else.
Who? Maybe we can help you. We know these hills better than lizards.
Never talk business on an empty stomach, Davy. We'd better get up to the house and get washed up. Hungry, Mr. Hogan?
Mighty hungry, sir, but, well, I usually wait for an invitation from the lady of the house.
Well, I reckon you're welcome to stay, but all we're having is game meat and whippoorwill peas.
Whippoorwill peas, ma'am?
Most folks use them for cattle feed, but in our house we eat them at the table, too.
Yeah, ain't bad neither. The way she mixes them up with meat and all.
Well, now, for all you know, you might start something that'll spread all over the territory.
Let's go, Mr. Hogan.
I don't like to leave a job half finished.
Well, what did you think of the whippoorwill peas, Mr. Hogan?
Well, a man doesn't ask for thirds just to be polite. He may take seconds for that reason. But when he takes thirds, it's because he likes them.
We had one batch that was full of weevils, but we'd ate half of them before we found out.
Davy.
I want to show you something.
Davy,
Yes, Mom?
come back here and excuse yourself.
Make this big excuse from the table.
I don't know what Davy's acting up like this for.
They usually do when there's company.
Davy doesn't, as a rule.
Either one of you know Ben Merriweather?
Ben Merriweather. Ain't that the prospector who got bushwhacked?
That's right. You knew him?
Well, not personal. I just read about it in the Millard paper.
Looky.
Well, now, Davy, I guess I'd better tell you the truth. Sometimes these writer fellas, well, they stretch a point and they make me sound braver than I really am. Say, before supper, you said you'd help me.
I sure did.
All right. How about answering a few questions? You know Ben Merriweather?
I don't think so. Do I, Mom?
I know I didn't, Mr. Hogan, and I know everybody that Davy does.
Here's his picture.
Oh, yes, I know him now.
Well, where did you meet him?
In Millard, just before Thanksgiving Day.
I don't recall him.
You and Grandpa were in the bank. I was looking in the general store window. That's when the old man came along. He stopped and we talked for a little bit.
What did you talk about?
I don't remember. It was just before Thanksgiving Day.
Davy, I don't think you're telling the truth.
Davy, don't lie, mister.
Yes, I was lying.
What were you talking about?
Red boots. The red boots in the window. The old man, he asked me if I was going to buy those red boots. And I said, nope, Santa Claus is going to bring them to me for Christmas. And then he said, are you sure there's a Santa Claus? And I said, sure. I can still remember the way he smiled when I said that. Then he asked me my name and where I lived and who my father was.
Davy, go put the magazine back in your room.
What about decorating the Christmas tree? You promised.
After we get up from the table. Being Christmas week, he didn't want to tell me about the boots. He knows we can't afford them. That's why he storied.
Well, there's always Santa Claus.
I'll make you a bed here by the fire, Mr. Hogan. It's about the best we can offer.
Appreciate it. Here, let me help you. Mrs. Kingman?
Yes, Mr. Hogan?
How long has it been since you've taken a walk in the moonlight with a man?
Is that an invitation, Mr. Hogan?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm afraid you might find the chill too much for you.
Well, I'm willing to take a chance if you are.
It's past my bedtime.
What's your hurry? You have the rest of your life to be lonely.
Good night, Mr. Hogan. And, Mr. Hogan, I sleep with a pistol near my pillow.
So do I, Mrs. Kingman. Now, why is it every time I see you, you've got a pistol in your hand?
Well, I told you how my husband was killed.
I just came out here for a drink. Those whippoorwill peas smell so good that I thought I might go for fourths.
Well, I imagine they're still warm. Would you really like a dish?
Yes, ma'am.
Sit down.
You know, it's been a long time since I've had a midnight snack like this. They just don't seem to lend themselves to flea-bit hotels and trails.
You enjoy the way you live?
It's better than working with my hands. Never did take to that too much. And wasn't one for settling down in one place for very long. Get that hemmed-in feeling.
Oh, hunting men for a living seems sort of dreadful. Don't you ever wonder how they feel? Having money offered for their lives?
Oh, I know how they feel.
Pardon?
Well, some of the outlaws got together and put a price on my head. $5,000. Dead. None of them are worth that to me. You know, sometimes I'm tempted to shoot myself and retire on the reward. What's so funny?
Men. My husband used to sit on that keg all the time. Couldn't get him used to a chair.
Sometimes men just aren't comfortable when they're comfortable. You know, I think I changed my mind. I don't think Dorothy will look like you when she grew up. As I remember, folks were real skinny. Oh, she might have looked like you in the face, but, you know, not all over.
You really loved her?
Yes, indeed. Most beautiful woman of 9 in the whole world.
Did she return your love?
Well, now, that's hard to tell on a 9-year-old. Every time I come around, she'd hit me. That's a pretty good sign.
You leaving, Mr. Hogan?
Yes, ma'am. I figured I'd get an early start. I've got a long way to travel.
Well, are you in such a hurry you can't even stay for breakfast?
To tell you the truth, Mrs. Kingman, I was beginning to get that trapped feeling. Homesteads make me feel like that. Like I told you, I'm not much of a man for working with my hands.
I see. Well, if you're ever in these parts again, you're welcome to stop by. Most welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Mrs. Kingman, would you give Davy this silver bullet and tell him Merry Christmas?
He'll like that.
Goodbye, Mrs. Kingman.
Goodbye, Mr. Hogan.
Sheriff Crowley?
Yeah?
My name's Ward Hogan.
Oh, yeah. Seems like I've read about you somewhere.
Is that right?
Yeah, about how brave you are and so on. Guess you must be about the bravest man in the whole world.
Well, I wouldn't know about that. I don't read that stuff myself.
What are you doing in this town? We got plenty of law around here, Hogan. I handle that pretty good. Of course, no one ever writes any stories about me, but I keep the town clean.
Looking for some people.
Who are you looking for?
Know anyone by the name of John Briggs?
Wrong town.
Jess Ryerson.
Not around here.
You ever heard of anyone by the name of Judas?
Only in church.
What about Clint Gunston?
Gunston, I know. Finished his prison term, bought himself a little piece of land out in a dustbin.
Trying to go straight.
Says he is. Found himself a pretty little wife. Says he aims to go straight from now on.
But you don't believe it?
Kind don't ever change. You ought to know that by now, Hogan. Once they go bad, they're always bad. He'll make his move one of these days. And when he does, I'll be ready for him.
I just suppose he doesn't.
Oh, he will. He can't make a living in that dry grass. Nothing to live out there, much less a man. I'll wait.
Well, is it all right if I go out and talk to him?
Free range, Mr. Hogan.
We're not complaining. We knew it wouldn't be easy when we came when we came here. This dust isn't so good for my asthma.
How long have you lived here, Mrs. Gunston?
Nearly 2 years, ever since Clint got out of prison.
Clint, this is Ward Hogan.
What do you want with me, Mr. Hogan?
I'm investigating the murder of Ben Merriweather.
You figure I did.
Just want the answers to a couple questions.
Well, I didn't kill Ben.
Know the Ryerson brothers?
Never ran across.
Ever heard the name of Judas?
Judas?
You ever hear Ben Merriweather mention it?
Name means nothing to me.
How did you meet Ben Merriweather?
Territorial prison.
What was Ben in prison for?
Killing a man. Said it was self-defense. Said the judge gave him a year just to keep him from being lynched.
You two pretty close?
Too close. We shared a cell together.
Get along together?
Nope. I come near bashing his head in a couple of times.
Why?
Now, he was always talking to me about going straight.
Well, from where I sit, it looks like you listened to him.
No. I'm here because of Sally. Nobody else but Sally.
Hey, I'll stick with it, Clint. I got a hunch you're gonna do all right.
You talk just like Ben.
Do I? Goodbye, Mrs. Gunston.
Goodbye.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hogan. Find your man?
That I did.
Good evening, Mr. Crowley.
Good evening. Let me see that fella's message.
Yes, sir.
What is it, Clint?
The calf's dead. Oh, it's no good. We gotta get out of this place.
Please don't talk like that. I'll be all right.
Oh, yeah. You'll be all right. If I ever get you out of this dust.
You made me a promise. You said when we came here, you said we'd never give up.
Oh, I'm not giving up, honey. I just want to take you someplace else.
Where? Where can we go?
California. I know about some land north of San Francisco. Green land, rolling hills.
Sounds beautiful.
Oh, it is, it is.
It's a little beyond us.
Well, it don't have to be.
Clint, don't talk like that.
Look,
Bad luck's followed me all my life. Everyone that's ever been mixed up with me's been hurt, too. Look, I'm a living jinx. It's been proved 1,000 times. There's only one thing I've ever made good at.
Clint, if you take up your gun again, I'll walk away from you. And if I'm too weak to walk, I'll crawl.
Well, it looks like I called my shot right, Hogan. Your friend Gunston backslid last night.
He did?
Up the mail stage was held up by a loner. He got away clean so far.
How do you know it was Gunston?
He was identified. Hello, Ward.
You're a hard man to lose. You know I'd have bet my last penny on it.
Maybe you'd like to ride along with us, Hogan. I'd like to see how a famous man like you operates.
Thanks, I'd like to come along.
All right, Gunston! We got you surrounded! Come out of there with your hands over your head! Did you hear me, Gunston? If you're not out of there in 1 minute, we're gonna start shooting! And those walls won't stop Winchester slugs!
Who is it?
Stella! Tell your man to come out with his hands up!
My husband isn't here.
Come on out, Gunston!
He isn't here.
Get out of the line of fire, one!
Crowley, hold your fire. Where's Clint, Mrs. Gunston?
He isn't here.
I'll have to look inside. She's right. He isn't here.
Sheriff, there's nothing that lean-to but a dead calf.
He's run out then. Whereabouts is he?
He's checking the fences, I think.
Now don't behave like a schoolgirl, one. Where's Gunston at?
I don't know.
Answer me!
Maybe she doesn't know. Why don't you give her a chance to tell your story before you bully her to death?
This is my territory, mister. We'll do things my way. What do you mean you don't know? Do you know where he was last night?
He was here when I went to sleep. He was already gone when I woke this morning. He often leaves without waking me. He wants me to rest.
I suppose you're going to tell me you didn't know he robbed the mail stage last night either.
Oh, no.
That's enough, Crowley. This girl is sick.
Whose side are you on?
Lucky for you, we're on the same side. It's the only thing that's stopping me from teaching you some manners.
Sheriff?
I'm not armed.
All right, Gunston. Where do you say you were last night around midnight?
I got witnesses to say where I've been last night. I was robbing the mail stage. Sally? I thought it was the only way. Well, my bad luck still holds. If I waited just one more day, one stinking day, we'd have been all right. There was nothing worthwhile in that mail I took. A special delivery letter for me. Some lawyer in Millard. It's a check, Sally, from Ben. He left me $50,000.
All right, Gunston.
Now, look, you cash it and get out of this place. Get to California while you still got a chance to save yourself. Well, it's good, honey. It's honest money.
Clint, I don't want anything without you. Nothing means anything without you.
Well, now, you move on and get things started. And I'll come to you as soon as I'm free again. Oh, it shouldn't be too long. My giving myself up means something.
You gave yourself up and came back here so you could give this to me, didn't you? You could have been clear to the border by now.
Just like you say, honey. It's the same way with me. Nothing means anything without you. Will you see that she gets away all right?
Sure. Sure, I'll do that for you.
Yeah. Funny thing about old Ben. He almost made me an honest man.
You've located 2 heirs. That's not bad for the time you've been on it.
And I might say that Ben Merriweather makes less and less sense as I go along.
You haven't found the pattern.
You think there is one?
Mm-hmm. Old Ben always had a reason for everything he did.
What was his reason for killing a man, or did you know about that?
I ought to. He did it to save my life.
If you and old Ben were such close friends, how come he didn't leave you a share?
That's part of the pattern you've got to figure out.
It doesn't make sense. He leaves a fortune to a little boy that he hardly knew. He leaves another fortune to an ex-convict who didn't particularly like him.
Come in.
Hi, Mr. Hogan.
Hi, Davy. What are you doing here?
Davy's turning out to be a minor gave us a little problem. His mother had to be appointed guardian for his share. Davy, I have the rest of the papers ready. Where's your mother?
She's over at the blacksmith's. Oh, hers got a limp, and she's waiting for the blacksmith to come in.
She may have quite a wait. He went to the Hannah Ranch and won't be back till night. I'll walk back with you. Excuse us, Ward.
Well, I'll just walk along, keep you company. I'd like to say hello to Mrs. Kingman.
Ma, look who's here. Mr. Hogan.
Mrs. Kingman?
Hello, Mr. Bard.
Hello, I understand you run into some trouble.
Yes, my horse has developed a limp.
I'm afraid the smith won't be in today.
Oh, dear.
Well, let me take a look. Maybe I can find you trouble.
It's that one, Mr. Hogan.
See if you can find me a farrier's knife in the box over there, huh, Davy?
Oh, Mrs. Kingman, the rest of the papers are ready to be signed.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you.
Yep. That's your trouble. The old horse has spread his shoe. See what I can do. Where's your grandfather?
Home, watching after things.
There's a little fire in there. Here, start pumping this. And keep pumping until it gets hot. I see you got your red boots.
I sure did, and I found out I can get most anything I want.
Yeah, now that's a good deal. How do you do that?
Wishing. You gotta wish special hard that it works.
It does, huh?
Sure, I wish I could get these boots, and I got them. And then I wish we could meet up with you again. And then I wish we could move closer to Millard, and we're gonna.
You shouldn't plan too hard on that, Davy. We haven't bought a place yet.
I'd like you to take a look at that Barkley Ranch I told you about, Mrs. Kingman. It's a good buy. Raising beef can be a profitable business. Davy's investment could double itself by the time he's 21.
Are you free to drive out with us this afternoon?
Well, yes,
Damien, knowing how busy you are, it'd be my pleasure to drive Mrs. Kingman. That is, if she doesn't mind.
I consider it a pleasure.
Thank you, ma'am.
I thought you didn't work with your hands, Mr. Hogan.
I didn't say I couldn't work with my hands, ma'am. I just said I didn't take to it.
I see you found the blacksmith all right, Mrs. Kingman.
Well, not exactly, Mr. B. Mr. B was kind enough to help us get into town after the horse went lame. Mr. B, Mr. Bard, and Mr. Hogan.
Mr. Hogan and I have already met. Can I give you a hand, Ward? I wouldn't want to see you get your outfit dirty.
No, thanks. You know, sooner or later, you're bound to learn that I work better alone.
Well, since Mr. Hogan's going to be busy for a spell, how about a sip of restaurant coffee, Mrs. Kingman?
That's a good idea, Johnny. You old enough for the taste of coffee, Davy?
No, but I sure am hungry.
Davy.
Good. Damien?
No, thanks.
Why don't you bring Mrs. Kingman a cup of coffee? A couple of sandwiches for Davy, and get something for yourself.
I like sugar and cream with mine, Mr. B.
Make mine black.
All right, Hogan. Real nice of you.
It's mighty pretty grazing land. Is there any water on the property?
2 wells, and just beyond the hill to the north, that hill, I guess, there's a small lake that never goes dry.
Sounds pretty good. Well, shall we take a look inside? It looks pretty solid. The only thing I can't figure is why Mr. Barkley wants to sell it.
I understand his wife died. That reminds him of it.
I wish we had this place, Ma. I wish it.
Well, I suppose we could manage it. Of course, Grandpa's too old for a place this size. And Davy's too young.
Well, I'd be mighty careful. It's the kind of man I hired, Mrs. Kingman.
Well, I'll hire one I can trust, Mr. Hogan.
Ma, can I go down to Mr. Jacobs' store to buy something?
All right, Davy, but don't be long. I'll drive around and pick you up.
Well, if you can take it on from here, ma'am, I'd like to go over and get some supplies at the store before they close. I'm leaving before sunup in the morning.
You getting that hemmed-in feeling again, Mr. Hogan?
Well, with a ranch like that, a kid like Davy, a woman like you, you've got to admit that you've dangled some pretty nice bait in front of me.
Bait, Mr. Hogan? I don't think I care for your insinuation. If I ever should marry again, and I doubt that I shall, I'd pick a man with half your conceit and twice your maturity. And especially one who likes to work with his hands.
You savvy white man talk?
Savvy.
I'm looking for Fort Grandy.
White men all gone.
I understood that, but I thought
All white men gone.
Henry Devers lives there, doesn't he? Look, I come as a friend.
Follow.
Devers lived there.
Karen.
Call.
Which one of you two gentlemen?
Now, just a minute, young fella. Just a minute. We finish his hand. Go on, deal. Bet 5,000.
Five. And 5 more.
Call.
Why, you old skinflint. You got me beat showing.
Yeah, and you dealing, too. Now then, young fella, what about you? You lost?
No, looking for Henry Devers.
I'm Henry Devers. This is Art Birdwell. And who might you be?
All right. My name is Ward Hogan. I'm a detective. I'd like to ask you a couple questions.
We're listening.
It's private.
Art Birdwell is a friend of mine, just same as Ken. Any business of mine, he's welcome to hear it.
Oh, that's all right, Henry. I gotta get back to my diggings anyway before dark. I'll see you tomorrow next day, huh?
Art.
Yeah.
Tell the engines to stick around.
Sure. Nice meeting you, Hogan.
Same here.
Now then, how about a home brew, huh? A good glass of home brew. This place ain't called a saloon for nothing. How's that?
It's good beer.
Thanks. Now, what was it you want to see me about?
About a man named Ben Merriweather. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, I know him.
He's been murdered.
Murdered? Now, look here, young fella, you don't think I done it? Well, I can hardly sit a horse anymore.
No, I didn't say that. Didn't even think it. I thought maybe you could help me find out who did it.
Well, it's been so long ago since I knowed him, matter of fact, years.
Did you ever hear him mention anyone by the name of Judas?
Judas? No.
How well did you know him?
Well, we was partners.
In what?
In prospecting for gold.
Do any good?
Well, you can see for yourself. I'm the richest man around here. Yeah.
What kind of a man was he?
Oh, average sort of fellow, like anybody you'd meet.
Well, no, I can't go along with that.
I was brought up to always speak well of the dead.
What are you trying to tell me?
Well, you want more beer?
No, no thanks. Just more conversation.
Well, Ben and me, we run onto a pocket. Looked like a real bonanza. We tossed a coin. See who'd ride into town and register our claim.
Now, who won?
Man, I can see him now. When he come riding back, that funny look on his face, and he threw a gun on me.
Ben threw a gun on you?
Yes. Told me to get packing and get moving. Double-crossed me. Registered the claim in his own name. Just his. That's the last I ever seen him.
Was it a bonanza?
No.
Thanks, Mr. Devers. Thanks for the beer.
Yeah, it's pretty good for homebrew, ain't it? You see, I use the water from the mineral spring. That's what keeps me here, the springs, you know. Good for my rheumatism. Anything else I can do for you, young fellow, I don't hesitate to say.
Where'd you get the Indians?
Oh, Set the Sun sort of adopted me. Only friends I got outside Art Birdwell.
Does Birdwell live around here?
Marge got a little diggings a couple of miles up Snake Mountain. Real good friend. Stops in the seasonal regular twice a week, you know. Goes to town, gets my groceries and things. Kind of hard for me with my rheumatiz, you know.
Where'll I find the closest boarding room?
Follow the sun about 10 miles, and you'll hit a road that'll take you right into Gold Rock.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Devers?
Yeah.
Is that the truth about old Ben? Was it?
No, it was the other way around. The other way around.
Thank you, Mr. Devers. Howdy, Birdwell.
Oh, howdy, Hogan.
Thought I recognized your mule. Can I buy you a beer?
Oh, no, thanks. I just picked up a letter for old Henry. Looks kind of important. I think I better get it out to her.
Mm-hmm. Say hello to the old boy for me, will you?
Sure.
Senor Ortega,
Senor Hogan.
can you fix me up a special plate of that good Mexican food?
Don't worry, I fix up good.
Hello, Hogan.
Hi, Sheriff. Tell me what you know about Birdwell.
Mark Birdwell? Ain't much to tell. He's owned a little mine the last 5 years. Barely makes enough to pay for his snuff. But he lives. Folks around here don't care much for him, though. Nothing you can put your finger on.
Do you trust him?
Never had no call to trust him.
Morning, Sheriff.
Oh, morning, Martin. Meet Ward Hogan, detective.
Hogan?
Howdy.
Martin's our banker here.
The stage just got in, Sheriff. The Millard branch just shipped us quite a bit of money. They must figure somebody around here is going to make a bigger withdrawal than we can handle. We'd appreciate it if you keep your eye on us.
I'll do that, Martin. And let me know when they draw it out.
Sure thing, Sheriff.
I brought out a new deck. Figured the only reason you beat me the other day is because you know the sign on every card in your deck. That must have been mighty important mail you got.
No, funny thing, though. Fella trying to sue me. I'll open it.
Carl, what you gonna do with all that money you got?
What? What are you talking about?
Oh, Henry, you never did have a good poker face. Why, before I come here, I steamed that letter open so as I'd know whether it was important enough to make the trip. I reckon it was.
Yeah, I reckon it was.
Who was Ben Merriweather?
Old sidekick of mine. But I can't figure out why he'd leave me any money.
The important thing is he did. Now, what are you gonna do with it?
Well, I don't know. Put it in the bank again.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. Banks are too liable to go bust. Now, if that was mine, I'd go in and get it in cash so as I could keep my eye on it.
Maybe you're right at that. Tell you what we'll do. You go on in town, get a buckboard, and come out and get me, and then we'll both go back into town together.
Oh, I don't think that's a good idea, Henry.
But I can't ride in horseback.
Well, but I can. Now, look, all you do is sign that check. I'll take it into town and get your money. There ain't no sense in me going into town and getting a buckboard and coming back here and then going back.
I know, all right, but once I sign that, it's just the same as cash.
Yeah, but what's wrong? Don't you trust me? Look, I'm the one taking the chance. Why, with all that money, I'm liable to be bushwhacked.
Sheriff. The money's been withdrawn. A check for $50,000 payable to Henry Devers.
Henry Devers?
Devers wrote out personally?
No, he endorsed it to Art Birdwell.
Birdwell?
I checked Devers' signature. He signed it all right.
I didn't think Devers was fool enough to willingly sign over a check of that amount to Birdwell.
I hope he's still alive.
Yeah, that's what's worrying me. Birdwell didn't ride out toward Fort Grandy. He rode south.
I'll round up a couple of men. He couldn't have gotten far on that old mule.
He wasn't on a mule. He rode a horse.
A horse? You want to come along, Hogan?
I'm going to head for the fort. There's just a chance that Devers is still alive, but I wouldn't bet on it. How long since you've seen the old man?
2 days. Been hunting.
Too bad. I think he's been killed.
Why, stranger, think that?
It's unimportant why I think it.
If stranger speaks true, only one man could kill.
That's right. Birdwell. We'll find out.
No. Birdwell Devers' friend. Maybe you kill.
You'd better talk to Sheriff Madsen in Gold Rock.
Stranger begs early. Maybe beg more later.
You're sandbagging again, Art. If there's one thing I don't like and never did all my life, it's a confounded sandbagger.
Yeah, but you just remember, I'm still playing legal poker.
Ah. Hello, young fella. Be with you as soon as I finish this hand.
Thought you headed south.
I did. You see, I figured on stealing this money.
What changed your mind?
Well, when a man gets to be my age, why, there ain't hardly anything left that he can enjoy. So I got to thinking there wasn't no place I could have spent this money that I could have had more downright fun than winning it off of him in poker.
Old Ben's getting his revenge, all right. He's got his eye on every penny of it. It's like he was looking at it from the grave. I will open it for that.
Well, hello, Hogan.
Hello, Nibs.
Do join me. It's bourbon, isn't it?
Not tonight. Strictly business. Why'd you have us meet in this place?
I have other clients to serve, you know. This place is rather like an office to me. Now, why do you want to see me?
Why else would I want to see you? I need information.
How much information?
$25.
Well, I have some $25 information. And I have some information that's slightly more expensive. The $25 stuff is my rock bottom.
Did you ever hear the name of Judas? I don't know the last name.
Forgetting the obvious answer to that, I'll be brief and say no.
Thought it might be a relative of yours.
Now, Hogan, let's not get nasty.
All right, Nibs, I'm late on the line. I'm looking for Jess Ryerson. Can you help me?
Yes, but not for $25.
Seems like fair pay for just an address.
There's a calculated risk involved. I might be hurt badly if my telling you were ever known.
It won't be.
I can't gamble on that for a $25 take.
How much do you want?
If there's a reward posted for Ryerson, I feel it only fair to share in it. I'm not a greedy man, Hogan. Say, fourth of the reward. That's all I ask.
If there's a reward up for Jess Ryerson, I don't know about it. I've got $60 cash. 10 I need, 50 is yours. Take it or leave it.
All right, I'll take it. But you make me feel positively cheap, Hogan.
Where is he?
Upstairs.
Upstairs?
That's right. Room 15, second floor, into the hall.
$50.
Next time, we'll need a little more, Hogan.
Just rising?
That's right. Who are you?
Ward Hogan.
What do you want?
I'm investigating the murder of old Ben Merriweather. Ben wrote a note before he died and said one of his 3 killers got away.
He didn't say it was me, did he?
No, but 2 of the men that he killed were your brothers. So I figure it's a family affair.
What do you want now? A confession?
You say it's good for the soul.
Whiskey's better. Much better.
I wouldn't drink too much of that if I were you. It's a long walk to the sheriff's office.
Yeah, it sure is.
Come on, Jess, let's go.
You know, I got a good alibi.
You'll need a good one.
You're sure I'm it, aren't you?
I'll let the court decide that.
All right.
Easy.
Look at your killer. Go on, look. Bullet in my spine. Leg's dead for 2 years now. How's that, Mr. Detective? Don't you think my alibi will stand up better than I can?
Sorry.
Yes, so am I. And don't ask no more about my brothers, because I haven't seen them in 2 years. Not since they put this bullet in me.
Well, did you see him?
Yeah, I saw him.
I was ahead of you this time, huh, Hogan?
Yeah, but we both guessed wrong, huh, Johnny?
Where's your next stop?
Headed north, Millard.
Do you mind if I ride along with you? I get bored in a big city. The air doesn't agree with me.
Suit yourself. Just remember one thing.
You don't need a business partner.
You're learning fast.
I got around to your way of thinking. From now on, I'm working strictly on my own and in places you're not going to be. I'll ride back as far as Millard with you if you don't mind. What's this place? We're going to camp here?
I'd like to push on and make camp at the river. Got some supplies I've cached here. I'd like to pick them up.
Where are you heading from Millard, Hogan?
Back to John Briggs' store.
I think you're following the wrong trail.
I don't.
Well, what's so interesting about Briggs? Is he in Ben's will?
Figured that out, huh?
Don't forget, I've been following you. Every place you stopped, somebody got rich.
Yeah, he's in the will. There's one beneficiary I haven't found yet, but already Briggs stands out among all the rest.
Why does Ben's killer have to be one of them?
Talked to the old prospector that brought his body back. Swears that Ben said so before he died. Pattern he followed in bequeathing his money bears it out.
What do you mean, pattern?
In each case, Ben gave his money to weak men. Men who might have stolen the money if they couldn't come by it honestly. I think old Ben just tried to save them from themselves.
Gunston, Devers. That fits. But what about that young Kingman kid?
Davy? I think with Davy, he saw a little boy with big eyes. Looked into the future to the day he might have a big gun to go with those big eyes. John Briggs is well fixed. He said he didn't even know old Ben.
You think he was lying?
I don't know. But he doesn't follow the pattern. Makes him number one on my list. Get up.
I'll bet our bushwhacker turns out to be some known outlaw. One of Cassidy's bunch doing a little job on the side. Or an Eastern outlaw on the run. Quit it, Judas. I think I'll gather up some wood before I turn in. It's gonna be a cold night tonight.
Judas.
Johnny! How did you know the mule's name was Judas? Don't try to cross the river, Johnny. I've got a clear shot at you.
You may think I don't have the nerve to shoot you, Hogan. Well, maybe I didn't. But I'm just scared enough now to have the guts to do it.
If you knew the mule's name, you must have known Merriweather.
How did you know Merriweather, Johnny?
You were one of the bushwhackers, weren't you? I could have put that bullet right through your head. I don't want to kill you now. Come on out of there.
I'm not coming out here to get hanged for something I didn't do, Hogan. It was just supposed to be a robbery. Till those trigger-crazy Ryerson started shooting at old Ben. Ben and I staked that claim together. Then he bought me out when I thought it was worthless. So I figure I had something coming to me.
Did you shoot Ben, Johnny?
No, I didn't even fire my gun. The Ryersons did all the shooting. I even went back to help him. But when I heard somebody coming, I ran away. I never killed anybody. But I will now if I have to, Hogan.
No, you won't, Johnny, because I'm going to help you keep your slate clean. No, you sure made me go to a lot of trouble to keep from killing you. It's a good thing I like you. You made me get all wet.
At least I saved you a trip to John Briggs' store.
I'm still going to have to find out if he's the right John Briggs. If he is, he's got $50,000 coming to him from old Ben's will.
I still saved you that trip, Hogan. My real name is John Briggs. I guess that makes Ben's pattern complete, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, Johnny.
Now I've got $50,000, and I'll never be able to spend it.
You'll get a chance to spend it. May have to spend some time for attempted armed robbery. But I don't think you killed old Ben. I'll testify for you.
What? You testify for me? Don't you know why I've been following you? Just to be there in case you got too close to the truth. And then I was gonna kill you.
You just think you were, Johnny. I'll see you in court. Mrs. Kingman, I want to quit detective work. I want to settle down, go to church on Sunday. I don't want to travel any further than the boundaries of my own spread. But I'm not going to lie to you. I'll never hanker to work with my hands, but I'll do as much as I have to. Oh, hello, Davy. I was just trying to tell you...
I heard. Sounds like you want to marry her.
That's right. That's exactly what I was trying to tell her.
You will. I wished it.
Well, now, Mrs. Kingman, it'd be a shame to spoil that kind of faith.
Perhaps we'd better take that walk in the moonlight you mentioned once, Mr. Hogan.
Do you think the chill will bother me, Mrs. Kingman?
I think you may find it a very fair evening, Mr. Hogan.